long way through a shortcut task in the Zurdanian Valley, Zurdania. Hello everybody and welcome to another special episode of SnowRunner here at Opafed Gaming. I am the Opafed. Today we are in our Avenhorn A15 and we are at the garage on the map of the Zurdanian Valley of Zurdania. Now we are going out the back route because we found out that there is a Jangsu RX600 stuck in the mud out here as we crash through the gate. Not quite doing 98, but we're going to go out here through the swampy area and pick up the Jangsu RX600 and deliver him to the company parking lot. Now, we could deliver him to the parking lot all the way with the Avenhorn, but there's a few tight, skinny little areas. So we're going to make this a tag team task where we're going to hand off the job after we pull the Jangsu out of the mud here. We're going to hand off the job to the ANK or ANK MK38 Civilian. ANK for short. Now, the ANK is an awesome little truck which is perfectly suited for the Zurdanian Valley and the Land of the Fallen Rocks and the Chiapas maps. It is a fantastic truck. I've done a lot of scouting with it. You can put an 1800 liter fuel tank on the top. It doesn't have a lot of options for other things, but it's a great scout and it just chugs along and nothing seems to stop him. However, the mud is a little bit much for him here. It's a little deep, so we decided we'll take the Avenhorn, pull the Jangsu out, tie it up to the ANK, and go deliver him. That's the plan, and we're going to see if it's going to work that way. So here we are. There's the Jangsu. He's got nothing on him, like most vehicles that you find on the maps or that are stuck in the mud somewhere. They're all pretty well base models. They don't have the upgraded engine or winch or tires or gearbox or anything like that. So first we gotta tow them over to the company parking lot. Now, whenever you're towing a vehicle, you can turn on the engine of the vehicle that you're towing, and that way it'll help pull you or push you through whatever tough areas that you're in. This is not too hard, and I wanted to see how easily the Avenhorn would pull it out by itself, so I didn't bother turning on the engine yet. We're going to need it later on though, as you will find out in our route across the map here. Now we are basically at the top of the map near the middle, and we're going to make it all the way down through a series of turns and twists to the bottom left hand corner where the company parking lot is. That's where we have to deliver. Not too bad of a trip, but it's got a couple of little problem areas that I'll bring up as we get there. Now, over here, I wanted to take the turn a little wide, and I guess I went a little bit too wide. I didn't know how narrow the area was there between the rocks, and it looks like a pretty tight fit, which is, like I said, the reason that big trucks like the Avenhorn and maybe the Kenworth 963 and even the Plaid, you can use them, but they're not going to be as beneficial to you as smaller trucks. So we're going to have to find out. We'll get the Jangsu in the garage once we acquire him, and then we'll upgrade him and see what he's like, and I'll keep you posted. Now up here I've got the ANK parked, waiting for me to come and bring the Jangsu up here. I should try and not run into the guardrail to try and get around him. We're just going to put the Avenhorn up ahead here on the side of the road. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, when you change trucks, I always stop the engine. If you don't stop the engine on the truck that you're leaving, it will keep running and it'll run out of fuel, I would imagine, because it'll keep running. Anyhow, here we are in the ANK. We're going to back up to the Jangsu and tie him up with the winch. Like I said, this truck has got no repair points. It's got no spare fuel. It's got a 200 liter tank, but it's got an 1800 liter tank on the back. So he's got 2000 liters to go and do his scouting with. He can pull trailers, and well, I'll let you decide on how good you think he is when when you finish watching this video, because I tell you, he is going to be a mainstay in the garage for at least seasons 17 and 18 in the Zurdanian Valley and in Chiapas, because he's really beneficial there. Not to mention one absolutely awesome mobile fuel station, 1,800 liters. That's wonderful. Anyhow, up here we're going to turn left. Now, I made a tiny little mistake in this video when I was making it, and right up here you got to turn a right just over the bridge, and I kept going straight. Now I cut that part out, and here we are coming back from the other side, going up that turn that I was supposed to take. Just to explain to you what happened in the video there. Anyhow, most of the driving here is going to be on the highway. And highway driving, it doesn't matter what. We could be using the little Yar or the Dawn or whatever. I'm sure that would pull the Jangsu too, but the troubles are only just beginning, because we're going to get a little bit of a detour just up ahead here. Now, the one thing that I really like about the ANK is the low gear. Right here, we got to turn, because as you can see up ahead, the rocks on the road will not allow us to get through. So we're going to have to try and climb down the side of the hill here. Now, I found that this truck bounces a lot when it's climbing and when it's going down, but if you put it into a low gear like this, it's almost like it changes into a rock crawler. And he doesn't bounce, he crawls over top of the rocks, and he has really good grip, which is what we need, because as you can see, we don't have a lot of room, and where we do have room, the terrain is a little angled, and it's difficult. It's tough to get through here. So I'm not sure if the Avenhorn will be able to do it. I didn't want to take a chance on falling off the rocks and taking a Jangsu with me, so I thought, well, we'll try the ANK. He's been doing a really good job for me on everything else, and he seems to be doing okay. That low gear really holds the truck back, and it really helps it out when you're climbing down or up. Either way, as you'll find out in a second here, we got to go back up again. I just wish that they, maybe in the future put some other add-ons for the ANK, like maybe a 2-slot cargo deck. Now this is the ANK Civilian, which is the civilian version of the original ANK, which was a military truck, I heard. Anyhow, that comes with a 2-slot cargo bed, but that's the only thing that you can put on there. So the Civilian is a little bit more versatile. You can put a few different things on. You can put a water tank on the back, and a couple other things. But this is my favorite. Now here, coming down here, you got to go slow, because like I said, if you get bounced to the left, you're done. You're going to go into the water, and you won't be able to come back out of there. Then we got to climb up this here section. Now, remember I mentioned earlier on, if you turn the engine on the truck that you're pulling, he'll help pull you up there. We finally had to do that. We were not going to be able to pull this truck up by itself. So, with a little bit of engine power, it's amazing. It just climbs up there like it's not even being towed. It looks like he's just following me up the hill and then back down again. Now there's the Plat 450 down below. I was using him a few videos ago in a helping hand. Hasn't really done any real major jobs, so we're gonna see if we can use him and utilize him in some of the work we got to get done. But I tell you, that path I just took, I wouldn't be taking in the Plat. That's why he's sitting down below waiting for me to get down to see if we were going to need any help. Now we're still a little ways away from the company parking lot. We're getting pretty close, but like usual, we're not keeping a close eye on our fuel consumption, and we're starting to run a little bit low. Now, it's not really a big deal because no matter where we run out, we've still got fuel with us no matter where we go. Here's another little narrow area which might be tough to get through here with the big trucks. Doesn't seem to be a lot of room there. Just a little ways further to go, and then the Jangsu should be ours. Doesn't look like much of a truck at the moment, but once we've got her all fixed up, I'm sure it'll be a good looking machine. Now we got a little ways further to go, and I finally noticed that we're running a little low on fuel. Finally noticed, and I thought, well, we better fuel it up, because I don't think 41 liters is not gonna make us get there. Well, we still got 1,636 liters of fuel, so we got pretty big range still remaining in the ANK. Well, the drop-off location marker box, or whatever you'd like to call it, with the black arrow pointing down in the yellow triangle, has appeared on the screen, meaning that the drop-off is close by. It looks like it's going to be another successful delivery. I do believe that from here on it's only highway driving. We just that one little section around that body of water on the side of the hill, that was a tough part. And just for that alone, I used the ANK instead of any of the bigger trucks. But we're going to explore some of these other trucks, like the Jangsu and the Mercer R230. We're going to be using them in upcoming videos as much as possible, because they move around a little bit better on these particular maps with a little bit less area. Smaller trucks are going to do a little better. Over here, once we get to the complex here, we're going to take a right in the very first turn here, right over here. And then just take a left at the bottom end there, and we're almost there. Absolutely awesome. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. It was a lot of fun. Can't wait for the Jangsu in the garage. Anyhow, until the next time, you've been in the long way through a shortcut task, delivering a Jangsu RX600 to the company parking lot, with me as your driver, the Opafet.